Hi. I'm not really a tea guy, but I'm out of coffee beans. And it's 7 PM. So we're still in Kyoto, and we're still at Kinkakuji. I practiced that. We hung out there for a while. I put in some more Kodak Gold 200. Maybe not the MVP of this trip, but definitely the most consistent. The photos I took at the temple are fine, but I think I prefer the photos I took on the way back to the hostel, which I got almost no footage for. We made our way to a ramen place for lunch, and then on to another temple, just taking photos along the way. I really like this one of someone pushing a pram, or stroller if you're from anywhere but Australia. I even got some on digital I like too. Retrospectively, I think a lot of this roll could have been black and white, but that's probably just where my mind is now. Although the light and colouring of this one on the bus is quite pleasing. We grabbed a late coffee from a place just near our hostel as we were going to head up to the Fushimi Inari shrine that night. On our first day in Kyoto, we went for lunch at, shocker I know, a ramen place. God, we ate so much ramen. It was awesome. But we went to this place that Jimmy had found, and I think we got the biggest ramen we had on the trip for like 900 yen, and it was so delicious. But a couple of seats down, there was a guy who would soon tell us that he was a proud weeb, a word we had to look up. But he was also the one who told us that if you want to go to the shrine and take photos, if you go at night, it's very pretty and there are way less tourists. So we set out for Fushimi Inari. We also casually drank so much more over there. I suppose that's just the perks of not having a car to drive for 3.5 weeks. You can just kind of stop in and grab a drink anywhere. Kind of miss that. It was really nice. It was still a little busy, as you can imagine, but nothing compared to the last time I'd been there during the day a couple of years earlier. We made our way up to the summit, stopping to take photos when we felt like it. Jimmy actually got some really good digital ones here. His Canon camera is really cool. I cannot remember what it was, because it's digital and not film. Not really, I just think all Canon cameras look identical, right? Anyway, I can't really talk too much because my film ones didn't really turn out here. I think I must have miscalculated something in my exposure times because they are crazy overexposed. They are okay, just a little bright. I think the digital RAW files were actually probably the winner here. Also, just a few handy reminders if you're going to do Fushimi Inari at night. A lot of the lights are on sensors. A couple of times it just went pitch black and I couldn't see anything. I'm taking a wrong turn. And of course I somehow thought I got lost on a single path going downhill. Also, there are signs for them, but there are like wild boars that roam the mountains, and when you're there at night there's a lot less people and they're a lot more comfortable just roaming the tracks. So we did have to wait for a group of them to pass before we could head back down. Fun times. The next day we were off to Hakone. Hakone? I can't remember. Pretty sure Jimmy pronounced this Hack 1 though, so I know I'm doing better than that. From memory, we'd booked this part pretty late as we got quite a few recommendations. We were gradually heading back towards Tokyo anyway, as we had our last 2 days and our flights home from Tokyo. So we thought we'd check it out. We had to catch a series of trains to get up to our accommodation. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's sort of like zigzags up the mountain with a stop at each point of the zag. Maybe I'm not explaining that right. They're called switchbacks because they switch back and forth, I assume.
The doors on the left side will open.
I wasn't sure if that was the best way to explain it, but I just checked the website and it says this. I did get this photo of the train driver. Conductor? Driver. Train driver. And with a little bit of cropping and tilt shift in post, I really like it. I actually just submitted this one to Accidentally Wes Anderson, a fantastic Instagram, and now series of books, I think. I have the first one. Yeah. Good photo book. Anyway, we got there, checked in, and then grabbed some lunch from this place down the road that had a cool skyline parked out the front. I know there's a cliche of taking photos of cars on film, but I am bad at it. Something I hope to improve on. After finishing up the roll of Kodak Gold, I wanted to use this roll of Fuji film I bought in Tokyo. It was a 400 speed film, and for the life of me I cannot remember what it was. I assume it was just Superior, but I think it had something else written on it. Anyway, I just kind of thought it'd be fun to shoot Mount Fuji on Fuji film. But I was wrong. It was overcast as balls, and I should have just shot some black and white. Anyway. We weren't going up to the view of Mount Fuji until the next day, so I left the OM4 behind and took the OM1 out with the Cinestill 400D. When we got back, we grabbed some dinner, and then Jimmy went in to use the onsen, and I went out in the cold to shoot film. But the train station did look really cool, and I was trying to get some of those halation sort of looks. Some of these came out nice. I'm a little bummed the one with the man on the platform is a little blurry, but that's shooting film at night on a cheap tripod. This photo of the train passing turned out exactly the way I thought it would, and I don't like it. The next morning we took the cable cars up to the lake and the view of Mount Fuji.
We will shortly be arriving at Kyoto.
Good of you. This one's okay, but I just think all of these would have been served better on pushed HP5. Afterwards we made our way back to the hotel and we packed our bags and we were headed for Tokyo. And if you thought I'd fallen off in taking videos before, then you are in for a treat, because I took almost none in the last 2 days of Japan. The first night back in Tokyo, we pretty much just dropped our bags and headed out on the town. We went to a bar called Grandfather's in Shibuya. Highly recommend. Very cool place. Grandfather, which is how I was told to address him, pretty much just drinks, chain smokes, and plays tunes from his seemingly endless record selection. We drank and took turns sneaking off to McDonald's next door so we could eat something and not lose our primo front row seats. The next day was actually my birthday and our last full day in Tokyo, which we kind of set aside for doing heaps of shopping. Not to sound super repetitive, but we pretty much got up, got a coffee, went shopping for a couple hours, got a ramen, went shopping for a couple more hours, and then had some drinks at the hostel bar. I asked the staff if they minded if I took some photos, and they told me to go ahead. And when I first went through these photos, I thought the digital had actually done a much better job. But now with some hindsight and looking at them over the last God, 6 months. But now I actually really like the long exposures. I like the movement for a scene like this. I think it shows like pace and some energy. It was fun. The next day we were on a bit of a mission to sort out our lives before we had to check out. I went and bought another piece of luggage so that we could fit all the bits and pieces we'd bought the last couple of days, and I had to churn through the 400 days so that I could hand it over at the airport for hand check. There's some cool photos in here. I got almost no footage. Sorry. I like the halations during the day. And with my last 2-3 hours before we had to run off to the airport, I ran off to find a camera store that someone at the hostel had told me about the night before. And holy shit. I didn't pick up any new cameras, unfortunately, but almost just so that I didn't leave empty-handed after making that voyage, I did pick up a 28mm lens for the Olympus, which has been fun. Then we made our way to the airport, checked in and flew home. This trip was amazing. I love Japan so much. The people, the food, the sights, the experiences, it's all just amazing. I love that place so much. I even looked into moving there for a little bit, but I don't think that's a possibility at my age, unfortunately. But I will be back. Also a huge shout out to Jimmy for putting up with me for 3.5 weeks. Sure, it wasn't always easy, me stopping and trying to take photos and pointing out every single film camera I saw to, but he is a great man and I am stoked I got to do this trip with him. I'm not really sure what's next for these photos. I want to do something so they're not living on my phone. I don't know, I've been thinking about maybe making like a one-off book for myself, maybe like a little zine. Something so I can have a physical print. Or maybe just picking a select couple and getting proper prints made. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, thanks for following along. I think this will be the start of more film photography stuff. Plus a woodworking video I need to finish. But that does end in a photo shoot, so that still counts. But yeah, thanks for watching. By the fourth one, you'd think I'd be better at ending these.